Hey everybody, I wanted to make a little bit of a longer video here of my truck. It's a 2001 Ford F-150 Lariat SuperCrew, and it's four-wheel drive. It's got 7 inches of suspension lift. It's got a 4-inch RCD lift, and then a 3-inch additional lift from different torsion keys and larger lift blocks in the back, in addition to the helper spring. It's got 35-inch BFG all-terrains on 16.5-inch chrome wheels. They're aluminum with chrome on them, and it's kind of a funky size. It's getting really hard to find tires, but they're actually American racing wheels. And I've got chrome Nerf bars on there, and it's got window tint. It's got the original rear factory tint along with, I think it's a 35% front tint, and it looks really good. I like it. Also changed out the emblems. It's got the 04 and newer style emblems on it, front and rear. I really like that. I've had that for several years. In the front, I've got lightning style headlights. They're clear, and I switched out the fog lights to projectors, and they're 5000K HIDs. I've got an aftermarket billet grille. I've got the clearance lights on the roof. They're off a Ford Super Duty. And I changed out the lenses to clear. I actually got a shorty antenna too that extends if needed. Kind of like the way that looks. And it helps a lot with the radio reception. Painted some of the suspension. I think this truck's in really good shape for 2001. It was actually a 2000 build date, so for 14 years old, this thing's in real good shape. I like to keep everything looking real nice and clean. Some of my East Coast subscribers or Snowbelt subscribers were asking me about the condition of the doors and the rockers and everything. As you can see, this is, we don't have any road salt here in Southern California, so these are pretty much factory condition. The rockers, extremely, brand new, very solid. Hopefully you'll be able to see underneath there. Got a MagnaFlow exhaust, and it's a single in, dual out. So I've got dual chrome tips on there. Again, the swapped out emblem. It's a rear camera, backup camera. As you'll see later in this video, I've got a backup camera system. The tail lights are LEDs. And so is the third brake light. All LEDs on this truck, inside and out. Very happy with it. Looks a little more modern. Hey, under the hood, it's got the factory 5.4 liter V8, and keep it pretty clean under here. It's not a show truck. I do drive it, but it's got a K&N filter I think it's definitely pretty clean for 2001. There's the underside. As you can see, I painted some of the suspension components. You can see on the inside, it's mostly stock. Has the Lariat leather interior, and these seats are original, and I have touched them up a little bit, some dye and whatnot, but I think these have got to be probably the cleanest leather seats for one of these trucks that I've ever seen. Of course, these seats flip down, and under the seat I've got an MTX Thunderform 10-inch subwoofer on this side, and on that side I've got my amp under the seat. Switched out the door speakers, size of the factory speakers, but they are Pioneer. Not sure the model, but they sound pretty good. Flip down DVD player. Also switched out all the interior lights. Got LEDs on the interior lights. I like that, makes a big difference. I'll go ahead and get up in here and show you some of the controls. Go ahead and start it up. My splash screen for the stereo. Truck currently has 116/860 on it. As the stereo warms up here, let's take a look at it. The stereo, some of you may remember, it was installed in my 2001 Mustang Bullet, but I took it out when I sold the car, and I wanted to install it in this truck, which it sounded okay in the Mustang. It wasn't really that compatible with the Mach 460 factory stereo, but in this truck it sounds really good. I'm not going to bother cranking it up or anything. It's kind of pointless on a video because you can't really get the full, the full idea. But this stereo is a Kenwood DNX 6190, and it's got navigation, Bluetooth, the microphone up there if you can see it. It's got HD radio. The navigation comes complete with navigation with the warnings, the traffic and nav, and that's broadcast through the HD radio, so you don't have to pay for that like you do with some other systems. But it's iPod, and this thing is pretty easy to use, as you can see. I mean, pretty much like all of them nowadays. But I also installed a backup camera when I installed this, which makes a huge difference in this truck because this truck is so big it's hard to see behind you. And that just turns on when you put it into reverse. Here's a shot of the passenger side. Almost no wear at all on the leather, which is very rare, especially for something that's 14 years old. I also wanted to show you my Harley Davidson pedals that I installed. They're Ford factory pedals for the Harley Davidson F150, and they were a little bit pricey, but I really like them. I also installed this panel right here, which was out of a Ford Expedition, but it's got this storage pocket down there, which is great for putting the cell phone in. Lastly, I got a video of this. It's my home link install. I really like it. Cost me about 20 or 25 bucks. Money well worth spent. You can check out my video on that if you'd like. I didn't do an install video on this stereo, but a lot of you that know, there's some modification required to make this fit. The doubled in opening. The factory opening is just a little bit less than a standard doubled in, so you have to, I got my Dremel out and Dremeled away some of the inside in there. There's plenty of videos doing that, so I didn't bother making one. Anyway, let me know if you like this video, if you want to see more. Give me your suggestions, comments. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you consider subscribing. Thanks a lot.